Max NG7M again here, putting out another little video. Hopefully this will be shorter than the last two that I put out over the weekend. It's Monday night, and there was a couple videos I made that was focused in on timing mark and shift on RTTY. You know, there are several camps out there as to which is best, and of course, like always, it depends on your hardware, depends on your experience, depends on what you're trying to do. So there's some good information certainly, and hopefully I can add a little bit more to that. But the first video I made on the FSK timings was about 48 minutes, and then I did a follow-up showing a really slow computer. One thing that I didn't touch on that I wanted to do here was talk a little bit more about TinyFSK, and also K0SM, who authored the Arduino sketch, and I think back in 2013 or somewhere around there. He needs to have a better mention there. So this video is going to show you something that I noticed after the two videos over the weekend. And so let me zoom in here on back here. This is the setup you were seeing over the weekend. But I wanted to, the Arduino Nano that I was using over the weekend, and this should focus if I hold it still enough. Come on, there we go. So this was the Arduino I was using over the weekend, and it's kind of focusing there a little bit off. And at the time, I knew it didn't have a bootloader on it, so I couldn't update TinyFSK to the latest version, which is 1.1.0. And I'm sure it had the previous version, which I think from 2013 was 1.0.1. And I tried to update it, and I didn't have the time. I knew the bootloader was bad on this particular board. It's a knockoff. It's a Gravitech, and I've since soldered on a cap there unrelated to TinyFSK. But anyway, I got the bootloader updated on it and upgraded TinyFSK to the latest and greatest, and I also updated and used the latest Timer 1, which is a library that Andy Flowers used when he was writing TinyFSK. And come to find out, the version of the timer library really didn't impact anything, but it appears that Andy did some optimization. I can't find the code to the previous version that I was using, but I wanted to show you the timings with the updated TinyFSK, and I thought that might be interesting. So let's do it. So this is the same Arduino, again from the other the main video on the timing. So we're just going to hook this guy back up here and get the probe on pin 11 here, which is the default for the keying, and get hooked up to ground. Okay, and we got the scope over here. So let me make this small. Again, I guess I could clear that out. We'll come up and make you look at me, I guess, for a little bit here. I know this is torture. So, so again, we got the newer firmware on the TinyFSK. I'm going to make the scope a little bit smaller here. We'll get the terminal out here just to show you. So I'm on COM13 there. I connect back up. Let's see here. Should be hooked up. Oh, it's 12 actually. This is an FTDI chipset 12. And let's see, the configuration is currently marked as low. That's good. You can tell this is the newer version because if you look at the previous video, it didn't tell you what the version was. So it had to be one of Andy's earlier version. Again, K0SM should get the credit here. But after I updated, and at first I thought it was the update on the Timer 1 library. I actually pulled down the latest and greatest from GitHub on that. But I switched back and forth. It didn't make a difference on Timer 1, but TinyFSK 1.1 did. So, and this is kind of cool. I mean, if you're like paranoid hardcore, I was surprised in that first timing video, the 48-minute one. I was showing jitter when I effectively zoomed into a 250 megasample per second resolution on the scope. And so let's get the scope. Where's the scope? Back up here. Oh, that's the desktop. Okay. Oh, that's good enough where we're at, I guess. So I'm just going to kick it on, and you can see the scope there. And I think I'm at a, let's see. So here's a 10 millisecond on the horizontal, per segment there. And we're going to kick it on. And I'm not seeing anything. This is live here. Okay, let's see here. Oh, there we go. There we go. So we got the trigger there on the trace. And so as you'd expect, again, what I was showing in the other video, you're seeing the 22 milliseconds. And we're at a 50 megasample per second on the zoom in. I clear the trace, captures it again, triggers again. This is what I wanted to show you. Before, once I got out to so far, you'd start to see a little bit of jitter. And I mean, this is just totally academic. But if we get out to the 250 megasamples again, what I discovered with the latest version of TinyFSK, kudos to K0SM, I mean, it is solid now on the same scope. Everything's the same Arduino. It's just solid right there on 21.96 milliseconds. So, wow, exciting, huh? You can, get a badge and put it on your vest or something, knowing that you have this solid timing if you're using TinyFSK. So that spurred me on. I'd already bought some. Here, let's go back in here. Let's see here. I'd already bought some just knockoffs just recently. So these are if it'll focus there, come on. Just gotta hold it still. Anyway, these are some knockoffs. I think on Amazon right now you can get them shipped if you have Amazon Prime. 3 of these for like $12.50. I mean, it's pretty amazing. But they do not have the FTDI chipset. It's some other knockoff chipset where you've installed different drivers. Anyway, I thought I'd try them out. I was able to reburn the bootloader, get on the latest bootloader for Arduino Nano, and then get TinyFSK uploaded. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect here on the other one. We're going to unhook it, clear the trace there. I'll try to keep this. I'm not known for my short videos, guys. So we're going to hook this guy up. And the fancy little jumpers here I've got. We'll get the probe on here. This is for the real paranoids. I don't know that I'd prefer the FTDI chipset, but they're about $10. Even the knockoffs are still going for about $10 on an FTDI chipset, unless you go to direct to China or something on eBay, which I haven't done that. So now let's connect to this one, and you can see that the current configuration. Again, it's a different Arduino. Now we're on 10 milliseconds there. I'm going to kick it on. Oh, so there we got 22 milliseconds on the scope, as you'd expect. But even the knockoff here, this is for the truly paranoid. The knockoff, which is a newer board, that old board, the old Nano had to be an early one from, I don't know, somewhere around 2013, I guess. I'm not sure. But the $4 and like 20-cent knockoff or 10-cent knockoff at 250 megasamples per second just will not budge off of 22 milliseconds, assuming, I don't know what the parts per million on the scope is on its reference. I wish it had an external reference, but there you have it for the truly paranoid ham that wants to ensure perfect keying at 45.45 baud. Just get the latest TinyFSK, do a little research on the internet, get it hooked up, and you know, before, I mean, we're splitting hairs here, because before, with the previous version, it was showing like 40 microseconds peak to peak, you know, one direction or the other, which was, you know, 40 microseconds or 4/100ths of a millisecond. So I mean, it's not going to matter over the air, but this way, you know, I feel like making a t-shirt or something that says, you know, I've got 22 milliseconds at 250 microsamples per second. So in your face, the unbelievers. Anyway, quick video. Hope you liked it. And NG7M73. Bye.